fall of Yes Bank, India's banking standard explained. Introduction: when a banking giant suddenly collapsed. In early 2020, India witnessed one of the most dramatic financial crises in its banking sector. Yes Bank, once considered one of the fastest growing private banks in the country, suddenly collapsed under the weight of bad loans, regulatory interventions, and loss of inventory confidence. For millions of customers, the situation became terrifying overnight. Withdrawals were restricted, panic spread across the market, and questions arose about how a major bank could fail so quickly. But the collapse of Yes Bank was not a sudden accident. It was the result of years of aggressive lending, poor governance, regulatory concerns, and risky corporate exposure. Understanding what happened to Yes Bank reveals how financial instructions can grow rapidly, but also how weak risk management can destroy them just as quick. Part 1. The rise of Yes Bank. Yes Bank was founded in 2004 by Rana Kapoor and Ashok Kapoor. The bank positioned itself as a modern corporate-focused private lender. Within a decade, Yes Bank became one of India's fastest-growing financial institutions. The bank expanded aggressively by lending to large corporate groups, infrastructure companies, and emerging businesses. It attracted investors with strong growth numbers and high profitability. For years, Yes Bank reported impressive earnings, and its stock became popular among investors who believed the bank represented the future of India's private banking sector. However, rapid growth often hides risk beneath the surface. Part 2. The risky lending strategy. Yes Bank's business model relied heavily on lending to companies that other banks considered risky. Instead of avoiding troubled borrowers, Yes Bank often stepped in as a leader of last resort. Some of the companies Yes Bank lent heavily to include firms that were already struggling financially. These borrowers included large infrastructure groups, telecom companies, and real estate developers. When these companies began facing financial stress, their loans to Yes Bank started turning into non-performing assets. Non-performing assets are loans where borrowers stop making repayments. Instead of immediately recognizing these bad loans, the bank reportedly delays acknowledging the full extent of the problem. Part 3. Governance issues and leadership concerns. Leadership played a critical role in the Yes Bank crisis. Founder Rana Kapoor was known for his aggressive growth strategy and strong influence within the organization. However, regulators began raising concerns about governance practices inside the bank. Questions were asked about how loans were approved, how risks were managed, and whether the bank was accurately reporting its financial health. In 2018, the Reserve Bank of India refused to extend Rana Kapoor's term as CEO. This was a major warning signal to the market that something might be wrong inside the bank. Once leadership changed, investors started losing confidence. Part 4. The liquidity crisis. The bank operates on trust. Depositors believe the money is safe and investors trust the bank's financial stability. But when doubts begin to spread, the system can collapse quickly. As concerns about Yes Bank's financial health grew, depositors started withdrawing money, investors began selling the bank stocks, credit rating agencies downgraded the bank's debt. This created a liquidity crisis. The bank no longer had enough immediate funds to meet withdrawal demands and maintain normal operation. Part 5. RBI interventions. In March 2020, the Reserve Bank of India stepped in to prevent a complete collapse. The regulator imposed a moratorium on Yes Bank, limiting withdrawals for customers. This meant depositors could only withdraw a small portion of their funds. To stabilize the bank, RBI coordinated a rescue plan led by the State Bank of India and several other financial institutions. These banks injected fresh capital into Yes Bank and took ownership stakes. This emergency action prevented a large financial crisis that could have shaken the entire banking system. Part 6. What investors learned. The Yes Bank collapse taught investors several important lessons. First, rapid growth in financial institutions should always be examined carefully. High profits may sometimes hide risky lending practices. Second, corporate governance matters enormously. Weak internal controls can eventually lead to systematic failure. Third, diversification is essential. Investors who concentrate heavily in Yes Bank suffered significant loss when the stock collapsed. Finally, regulatory signals should never be ignored. When regulators raise concerns about a company's leadership or financial reporting, it is often an early warning sign. Part 7. The recovery and current status. After the rescue plan, Yes Bank began rebuilding its balance sheet. The bank focused on reducing bad loans, improving risk management practices, and restoring depositors' confidence. Although the bank continues to operate today, its reputation and valuation were severely damaged by the crisis. The story of Yes Bank remains one of the most important case studies in modern India banking history. Conclusion: why this story matters. The fall of Yes Bank shows how quickly financial success can turn into failure when risk management and governance are ignored. It is also demonstrated that the importance of strong regulatory oversight in maintaining stability within the banking system. For investors and market participants, this case serves as a powerful reminder that understanding the fundamentals behind companies is far more important than simply chasing growth. If you want to understand markets better, stories like the Yes Bank collapse reveal how complex financial markets really are. To navigate these markets successfully, investors need deeper knowledge, structured education, and reliable insights. That's exactly where ZWiser comes in. ZWiser helps investors move beyond speculation and learn how financial markets actually work. Through expert analysis, market education, and institutional level insights, ZWiser equips individuals with the knowledge needed to make informed investment decisions. Instead of relying on rumors or social media tips, ZWiser focuses on building genuine market understanding. If you want to understand the forces that move markets and avoid mistakes like the one that devastated bank investors, exploring ZWiser might be the smartest step you can take.